What's good, my baby? Welcome back to the channel. Look, you done found your way back to the channel again, huh? I know it. You rock with the channel. Do me a favor then. Go ahead, sub. Turn that bell on, all that good stuff. We're right. We ain't gonna get into all that. Forget all that crap right now. Look, The Stray Cat King Historical Legends Part 5 by Mrballen. I'm not gonna lie, this thumbnail, because I've seen this in the meme world. My bad, can say it together. I've seen this in the meme world. But the video, if I remember correctly, though, it wasn't like nothing crazy. Wasn't it just like some dude, he like get up like, yo, mom, come look at this cat. Come look at this out the window, whatever. Or grandma, whatever, whoever he was talking to. And then she come look, and she get to the window, and it's this motherfucker. And he was just like sitting there looking how he looked now. I ain't gotta make the face. Like looking like how he looked now. And it was like real trippy. But is it like some crazy shit behind it? Because from what I saw, it was just like that clip. That's if that's this same video. Maybe he just used his thumbnail. I don't know, but either way it go, yo, we're gonna start the video. We ain't gonna do too much talking. I already did a lot of talking anyway, though. But yo, let's go and check out the video. You wanna check out the original video? My bad, I'm talking too fast. You wanna check out the original video? Link will be in the description below. Well, let's go.
No matter how absurd this story gets, remember, it's true. But before we get into today's story, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and mysterious delivered in story format, then you come to the right channel, because that's all we do, and we upload 3 or 4 times every week. So if that's of interest to you, please sneak into the like button's house and lightly toast all of their bread and then put it back in the bag. Also, please subscribe to our channel and turn on all notifications so you don't miss our weekly upload.
It sucked because I already do not want to believe it, so I'm not gonna go in with that mentality, though. The thumbnail alone is creepy, dog. Timothy Dexter.
In the winter of 1748, Timothy Dexter was born in a town just north of Boston, Massachusetts called Mrballen. Despite being incredibly dim-witted, Timothy always believed he was going to strike it rich one day. But looking around at his family, who were a bunch of poor farm laborers, Timothy realized he would need to make some big moves if he wanted that dream to become a reality. When he was just 8 years old, he decided he would make the first of his many big moves. And this move was to drop out of 2nd grade and go to work on a farm and then on to a leather tannery. For years...
Damn, the way Mrballen was saying it, I'm thinking like dude in high school, but he did say he was 8 years old. You knew in 2nd grade your family was broke? I mean, damn.
Of 2nd grade and go to work on a farm and then on to a leather tannery. For years, he worked hard, earning more money than his family had ever made, but he knew this line of work was not going to make him rich. And so when he was 19 years old, he decided it was time to make yet another big move. He sold his best suit and used the money to relocate farther north to another Massachusetts town called Newburyport. He believed with their booming economy, he was bound to make some additional money there. And he was right, but his payday would not come from a higher paying job. When he arrived there, he met a lonely, wealthy widow named Elizabeth Frothingham, and he promptly married her, becoming rich overnight. After moving into her
Little sugar mama, I hear it.
mansion and dubbing himself Lord Timothy Dexter.
Damn, that's her spot. I'd have married too. No, for real though, stop playing.
Promptly married her, becoming rich overnight. After moving into her mansion and dubbing himself Lord Timothy Dexter, he suddenly felt lost. He had spent his entire life pursuing wealth, and now that he suddenly had it, he didn't know what to do with it. And so he looked around Newburyport at the other rich people.
I'm sorry, stop. Let me just tell. I know what the fuck to do. All right, no more jokes though. But dang, weed wasn't legal back then though. Boy, I'd had hella weed up in there just stroking and smoking.
He suddenly felt lost. He had spent his entire life pursuing wealth, and now that he suddenly had it, he didn't know what to do with it. And so he looked around Newburyport at the other rich people and saw what they were doing, and he found that many of them held political positions. And so Timothy decided he would run for office too. But unfortunately, the voters caught on to the fact that he was a 2nd grade dropout who couldn't read or write or think critically, so he didn't win the election. But instead of accepting his defeat, Timothy began petitioning the town to let him have his political office anyways. And the town said, no, that's not how democracy works. But Timothy didn't really understand, and he just continued to send these carefully outlined petitions explaining exactly why they needed to appoint him. The town had to bring in experts that were able to decipher what he wrote, because Timothy was deeply illiterate, and his petitions were so riddled with spelling mistakes and were so confusing that at first glance...
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Look, I'm not. Look, I'm not laughing. I guess I'm smoking. All right, look, I'm not laughing at the fact that he said he was illiterate because it's his fault. He dropped out of second grade. I get it. He was trying to take care of his family. Well, honestly, it sounded like he just wanted to be rich. Not gonna lie to you, but I mean, like, I wanted all. So far, I'm getting the vibes of someone who really wanted all. But look, though, that's not why I was laughing. The reason why I was laughing because I told you I really be putting myself in these positions, like in these shoes when I'm listening to these stories, dog. And I was legit picturing myself getting that shit again. Like, dog, what the fuck this say? I'm fucking crazy. My bad. I was just picturing me working there, and I keep getting these letters that I can't read. That's all I was picturing.
Petitions were so riddled with spelling mistakes and were so confusing that at first glance it looked like it was written in a foreign language. After they deciphered them, they would immediately deny them, but Timothy just continued to send them. And so finally the town got so fed up with all of his petitions that they decided they would just give him a fake political title just to get him to stop and to low-key humiliate him. They offered him the title of the Informer of Deer, and they told him his job was to look high and low.
Is he gonna take it serious? And low key, the way they're playing with his intelligence right now, I get it. He keep on sending it over and over. And they can't get him to stop. So I don't know what's going on. So they finally was like, look, we gonna play back. But the fact he said we thought this shit was in Spanish or French. Dog said I cannot read Japanese. No more stop it up for real.
Up with all of his petitions that they decided they would just give him a fake political title just to get him to stop and to low-key humiliate him. They offered him the title of the Informer of Deer, and they told him his job was to look high and low all over Newburyport for any signs of deer activity. And the joke was, in Newburyport, there are no deer. But Timothy did not find this humiliating. He did not see the joke in it. He took it very seriously and believed his petitions had worked. And so he took his political title, and with great enthusiasm, he got to work, spending all hours running all around the town, carefully documenting all deer activity, of which there was none. At the end of his term, Timothy felt like he had...
I'm sorry. Look. Look, Mr. Mrballen pulled me on, right? Because you know how Mr. Mrballen's going. And he went all around town documenting all of his activity. So I'm thinking like, damn, he got a shit ton of activity. Just to say he got none. Real quick before you leave the channel, I normally don't act this immature, but I really don't. But it's Friday, dog, and it's the last day. I'm ready to get off work, chill, dog. Get paid tomorrow, nigga. Still gonna get a hot and ready, but no, I'm gonna get Supreme this time because I'm getting paid. I might not even go to Little Caesars.
Believed his petitions had worked, and so he took his political title, and with great enthusiasm, he got to work, spending all hours running all around the town, carefully documenting all deer activity, of which there was none. At the end of his term, Timothy felt like he had accomplished a lot as the Informer of Deer, and was ready to move on from political office. And so he turned in his official Informer of Deer logbook to the town and told them they should pass it along to the next Informer of Deer to get them up to speed. Unfortunately, when the town opened that logbook, they found it contained only crude pictures of deer and then illiterate ramblings about deer that were so difficult to decipher that even the experts weren't able to do it. And so the logbook was thrown away, and the Informer of Deer position was never filled again. Shortly after the American Revolutionary War broke out between the colonies in America and Great Britain, America began printing their own money to pay for their troops. But this money, called the Continental Dollar, it wasn't backed by silver or gold. It was just backed on the promise of future value if America won the war. That, combined with overprinting this money, led to rampant inflation, and very quickly the Continental Dollar was worthless. Some of the wealthy folk in Newburyport decided they would do the troops a favor, who were now destitute because they held all of this worthless currency. And these wealthy people often...
My bad, I was going back because it sounds like history is about to repeat itself. I don't think we're gonna live to see. I honestly don't think we'll live in this body, at least I should say. I don't think I'll live to see the day where legit our dollar becomes just worthless. But shit is moving kind of fast, though. I mean, what? Oh, gosh. No, let's not what if that moment.
Some of the wealthy folk in Newburyport decided they would do the troops a favor who were now destitute because they held all of this worthless currency. And these wealthy people offered to buy all of their continental currency for a fraction of the price, which was better than nothing. When Timothy saw all these rich people doing that, he quickly jumped on the trend. But he didn't view this as doing a favor for these troops that needed the money. He viewed this as a great investment opportunity. He believed America was going to win this war and that eventually this currency was going to have lots of value. And so he invested all of his savings into buying back the continental dollar. When word spread that Timothy had made this terrible investment, because at the time, nobody was predicting this currency would have any worth, really even if America won the war. When they found out that Timothy had made this ridiculous investment, his peers, the other wealthy folk in Newburyport, they were thrilled. They were
Not knowing what I know now, I'm trying my hardest to pretend like I don't know what's going on, right? Far as what's going to happen with the fight, whatever. But I think I would have too done that. I can't lie. I'm a gambling person, but not like a gambling person. Like I don't go to casinos and I don't shoot dice anymore. I don't do anything like I'm gonna buy I don't buy lottery tickets. I don't play the lottery. I don't do that kind of gambling. But I will gamble on some shit like far as like, yo, you know what? You tell me if I buy into that, it's a possibility that shit, my money can 100 times, 200 times, 300 times. Why not? That's me. Not saying you think like that, whatever. And I was thinking like, I wonder how dog pulled her though.
Nobody was predicting this currency would have any worth, really even if America won the war. When they found out that Timothy had made this ridiculous investment, his peers, the other wealthy folk in Newburyport, they were thrilled. They were so annoyed by Timothy and they didn't like the fact that he was kind of on their level because he had some money. And so they were excited to see him go bankrupt. But sure enough, at the end of the American Revolution, when America won the war, Congress made good and backed the currency, making Timothy one of the richest people in America overnight. Right away, Timothy used his second...
And think about it, you know what's crazy? My bad, overreactor mode. You know what's crazy? Even, that just goes to show us, boy, you cannot buy your way into somebody's friendship, dog, into someone's life. You can, look, we can debate it, you can, but for them to actually like a legitimate, like, yo, we actually like this dude. Basically what I'm saying is, the fact that you were there because you just happened to have the money to be there, but they didn't want that ass there at all. Like legit hate it, dog. Hate it. And you know when you like really don't like something, like how you see those memes, whatever, where like, yo, somebody just simply eating chicken. Like, look at, I forgot how it goes. It was like this comedian, she said or whatever. Like, look at this bitch over there, whatever, something eating chicken. Basically, it was like kind of like when you don't like someone, like you hate everything. They do my bad too many likes. I hate that. But either way it go though, it was just every move that he was making. Like, look at this. Oh, look at this. Oh, don't like him. Oh, that's freaking crazy to me. My bad, because I just love understanding or trying to understand humans. So it's that part tripped me out. But it was like, yo.
One of the richest people in America overnight. Right away, Timothy used his second big windfall of cash to purchase the most luxurious mansion in the richest neighborhood in all of Newburyport. But beyond that purchase, he didn't really know what to do with all of this money. It was very overwhelming. And so after several weeks of deep introspection where he tried to figure out, who he was now and what he wanted to be, it suddenly became clear to him. He needed to construct 40 wooden statues of random famous men on his front lawn. These statues included George Washington, Napoleon Bonaparte, Thomas Jefferson, and of course himself. The inscription under his statue read, "The first in the East, the first in the West, and the greatest philosopher in the Western world." After a sculptor was done, Timothy went out to inspect all 40 statues, and he discovered what he believed to be a huge discrepancy on one of them. Underneath Thomas Jefferson's replica,
that was the third president, wasn't it? George Washington, Thomas Jefferson. Yeah, Thomas Jefferson. See, stop playing with me like I ain't smart. I gotta add. So far, you know what's the biggest message I'm picking up from this video? I'm living life thinking too hard. I legit am, dog. Dog just breezing through this mug. Sound like he ain't even trying. Said F school, F spelling, like, dog. And it's crazy because I just saw this, my bad. Look, real quick. I just saw this, this one analogy that makes so much sense. It was so much sense. I think it was called the pink elephant or something like that, whatever. Or the pink cat. Something weird. I just saw it for the first time, so I don't know it. So I'm about to just paraphrase. But it's basically showing like how we as people, as we keep chasing something, It's just constantly just keep running from us, and we just try harder and harder and harder to chase it. But I'm not gonna lie, the way he was explaining it was so freaking good, whatever. And it's like, and it's just constantly running from you, whatever. And he's like, think about it. When you stop trying anything, when you stop paying attention to shit, whatever, then it starts to come to you. I'm not saying be lazy, just sit there and play 2K all day, but shit, dude, you do, man. Pass the weed. Where the weed at, dog? Your ass talk too damn much for me, boy. I'm about to go watch Art of Kicked. Boy, I'm only 6 minutes in the video. Stop playing with me. My bad. My bad. I just be having fun in these videos.
Huge discrepancy on one of them. Underneath Thomas Jefferson's replica, it said the author of the Declaration of Independence, which is accurate. But he told his sculptor that he was supposed to put down the author of the Constitution. And the sculptor very gently said, that's not right. It should be the Declaration of Independence. So Timothy became irate. He was not having it. And so he ran into his mansion and came out with his oversized hunting rifle and began firing at the sculptor's feet until he made the change. After Jefferson's title was fixed, Timothy noticed another discrepancy on another statue. He walked over to the Timothy noticed another discrepancy on another statue. He walked over to the George Washington replica and looked underneath it at the inscription which said George Washington. And Timothy just shook his head, got out a paintbrush, covered it up, and wrote one word: Pitt. Just Pitt.
P-I-T?
Because periodically Timothy would confuse George Washington's name with Pitt, and nobody could convince him otherwise. By now, the other wealthy folk in Newburyport had really grown to resent Timothy, and now he was just showing off his wealth with his totally ridiculous mansion and all of his statues, and so some of these aristocrats wanted to find a way to just ruin Timothy. And so knowing he
My bad, I'm really digging into my history books here and lessons in life, even though I question so much of that shit. Look, we're not gonna get into that, whatever. But I can't make the connection at all. Is this something that actually stuck, like, in history, though? Maybe it did. Maybe I'm thinking too hard.
Some of these aristocrats wanted to find a way to just ruin Timothy. And so knowing he was not a very bright man, they decided they would start giving him deliberately terrible investment tips. The first being that he should buy a whole bunch of warming pans and send them to the Caribbean. A warming pan is like this big frying pan that you load up with hot coals and you slide under your bed to stay warm at night. This works really well in a cold environment like Newburyport, but is completely worthless in a warm tropical environment like the Caribbean. But Timothy believed he was being given some great insider trading information.
It's gonna work.
And absolutely took this to the bank. And he went and bought 2 ships and he loaded them up with 40,000 of these huge warming pans.
There's no way I'm believing this story, dog.
And he fired him off to the Caribbean. And when they got there, the locals didn't know what they were or what they were for, but they found these warming pans served as great ladles for molasses. And they all sold out for a huge profit. And so Timothy went to those aristocrats and he thanked
We beat dog ass now, dog. Damn, boy, I gotta go to this boy. My damn chair was still spinning. My bad, I had to go get the door real quick, dog. Stop playing with me, yo. This story is freaking crazy, dude. I don't think this cat got anything to do with the damn video. I think that's just a Google thumbnail he used. Look, it had me all approaching the video wrong as shit.
They all sold out for a huge profit. And so Timothy went to those aristocrats and he thanked them for their incredible investment tip. These rich people were furious that their plan had backfired, and so they decided they would pitch him another, even worse investment tip that was bound to ruin him. They told him, why don't you buy up a whole bunch of coal and send it to Newcastle, England? Newcastle being the coal capital of the world, where there was so much coal there, there was actually an expression at the time, that's like sending coal to Newcastle, which meant you're doing something completely pointless. But these fine rich folks had never done Timothy wrong, and so he took their advice and once again took it to the bank. He loaded up his ships with coal and he sent them off to Newcastle. And this would have ruined him had it not been for the coal workers' strike that occurred right before his shipment arrived. And so when Timothy's coal arrived on the shores of Newcastle, there was a coal shortage and all of his coal sold out for another huge profit. And so once again, Timothy went back to the aristocrats and said, thank you for the incredible advice. Now truly irate that their plan has backfired 2 times, these aristocrats got together and said, okay, we gotta set him up for something that's going to make him fail. And so they pitched him one more terrible investment tip. This was,
Just
hey,
stop.
Timothy, why don't you go buy all the whalebone you possibly can? Just
What's
hoard
that?
it, keep it in your house, because someday it's going to get really valuable. At the time, whalebone was extremely expensive and losing its value every single day. But again, Timothy thinks these people have never done me wrong. I'm going to do just that. And so he went out and he collected thousands of pounds of these rotting whale bones and made a huge stockpile in his basement. And shortly after he had built up this mountain of bone, over in France, it became fashionable for men to wear corsets. And wouldn't you know it, these corsets were made out of whalebone. And so once again, Timothy's investment completely paid off. And so he tipped his hat for a third time to these rich folks that just keep making him more and more money.
Man, just
After
beat
these
dog
three
up.
big
Shit.
investment wins, Timothy was very confident and he viewed himself as a shrewd investor. And so he began to believe that he could identify winning investments himself. And so the first winning investment
Legit gave himself the title as an investor. Yo, I mean, technically you are, but everything that you played off of was just legit others moves. It was just like, yo, do this, boom, I'm gonna do it. But I'm not gonna lie, even if you did that to me, legit being honest, put myself in that shoes, I will probably get delusional and think like, yo, I'm that guy when it comes to this shit. I don't miss. So I can see that, but this story can't. Oh gosh, there's no way this Mrballen video only has 1.7 million views. I'm sorry, but this is some good storytelling to me, though. I know on my bad. I've been stopping hell of this video. Y'all gonna be mad. Dog, this shit was crazy. Well, we got more to go. So,
Timothy was very confident and he viewed himself as a shrewd investor. And so he began to believe that he could identify winning investments himself. And so the first winning investment that he identified was to purchase all these stray cats in Newburyport that were lined up for euthanization. Timothy figured these mangy, sick, feral animals would make great house pets in the Caribbean. And so he loaded them all onto his 2 ships. He fired them across the sea. And wouldn't you know it, they sold like hotcakes. Not because they were cute and cuddly, but because unbeknownst to Timothy, the Caribbean had a huge rat infestation problem in their warehouses, and so his shipment of stray cats arrived at the perfect time. At some point, after all these successful investments, Timothy started to wonder about his legacy. How would people remember him after he was gone? And so there was only one way to find out. Timothy, very elaborately, faked his own death. And as he hid, watching his funeral, he noticed his wife, Elizabeth, wasn't as sad as he thought she should be over the death of her husband. And so he leapt out in front of the thousands of people that
I'm too hot for that shit. I'm too hot. I'm sorry, my bad. Overreactor. I'm sorry, my bad. My bad. Caught your motherfucking ass. Why you bring that nigga to my funeral? And I'm not gonna lie, though, I can see why she wasn't as sad as you thought she was gonna be. That's some BS. I would count. But I'm legit getting narcissistic as fuck at this point. I'm not gonna lie to you, dog. And even because when he was like, the story is absurd, I was like, I know I already talked about this, but I was like, yo, this is legit about to be some shit where I know I'm not about to believe this story. But this is crazy. And you know, at this point, it's gonna, I don't know what's gonna happen at the end here, but it sounds like, yo, the want to need, like, I guess that's the correct way I should put it, has you on lock. Where it's like, yo, you feel like you always need to get to another level. Like, yo, I can't sit here. I gotta do this, do this, do this, do this. But it's not even that, though. It's to the point where it's like, you gotta top shit. Where it's like, yo, I gotta find a way to do this. Where it's like, I'm just on top. And I get it. I know the reading is not the best, whatever, right? The intelligence is not the best, right? But somehow, dog, just know, like, I have to reach another level when I do something. The shit he's doing, it is BS, not gonna lie to you. But he is killing it. I just gotta be honest.
Thought she should be over the death of her husband. And so he leapt out in front of the thousands of people that were there and he began beating his wife with his cane. After this, Timothy decided he didn't really like his wife anymore, and so he decided he would just tell people she was dead, even though she was not dead. And so when people came to Timothy's mansion and they saw his wife walking around, clearly alive, Timothy would tell them, oh, she's a ghost. And because at this point, Timothy was so wealthy and so influential, people just kind of accepted this and began viewing Elizabeth as a ghost. Before Timothy's actual death, he penned an autobiography called A Pickle for the Knowing Ones. a title that to this day people still don't really understand.
Oh, I wanna
Inside the
read it.
book were 24 pages of completely
Wait, let me see. Wait, write that down. Oh, I'm looking that up. I want to fucking read. I'm sorry, excuse my French. I want to read that. Oh, I was looking for something new to read too. 1 second, let me write that down. My bad. By the late by the late Lord Timothy Dexter, the first alpha male.
don't really understand. Inside the book were 24 pages of completely illiterate ramblings with absolutely zero punctuation. The book was so terrible that it actually sold out very quickly because people thought it was funny to buy this book. After people criticized Timothy for not using any punctuation, Timothy printed a second edition where at the very end he included a single page, with 13 lines of just random punctuation marks with a note at the bottom that said, "Go ahead and sprinkle these in as you see fit." In 1806, just a few years after publishing his book, Lord Timothy Dexter, the informer of deer, quietly passed away. This time for real. So that's gonna do it, guys. If you found the secret in today's video, let us know.
Imagine being invited to that second funeral. My bad. I'm sorry. This reaction gonna be a little on the ghetto side. But I'm looking up this book real quick. That's what I'm doing, dog. But man, yo, dude, I'm not gonna lie. This was I'm gonna say it, and I know I'll probably change again, but for me, as far as storytelling goes, as far as entertainment value goes, as far as just holding me, man, this story legit might take the cake. This fucking thumbnail, I'm a little triggered because I it's gonna be cringe when I do this intro, like, dog, the video, like, nothing about that cat, but it was just because that cat, I think I saw it on a meme, though, so I was like, yo, is that meme was like legit connected to something legit real? It's because I was waiting for the cats to come. I'm like, Mrballen, get to the cats. So when he got to the part when he bought all those cats, I was like, oh shit, here we go. What's about to happen? Damn, cat ain't never come. My bad. I was looking at I want to make sure they different versions. Oh, but anyway, my bad. The fact that in second grade my kid knew, like, yo, y'all are broke. I don't want to live like this. And he knew he did not want to follow the rat race. And that's what I thought it was at first. I was like, he's one of those ones who just don't want to be in the rat race. He wants to get rich and get out of it. So that's why I was like, okay, that's what he wants. That's who he is. I understand it. One of those my damn self. But once he got it, it was like, no, I got to get to another level. But legit, from what it sounded like from this story, dude, was like, I'm not even trying. It's just like, yo, I'm just here enjoying living his life, doing stupid shit at this point. But it's like, is it really stupid? It was his happiness. It sounded like, yo, look, we ain't gonna get into this because a lot of times I know it be feeling like y'all be mad, like, yo, you be taking the bad guy side. No, it don't. It's legit. I legit have to look at shit from both sides sometimes. I'll be like, yo, let me peep this, because I ain't gonna lie, as the story was going on, I was like, yeah, he's starting to piss me off a little bit. I can definitely tell he had some ways I would have not liked, though, but who don't? But for his, it was just like, I'm not hiding shit. I'm just me. I'm just moving. But look, though, we ain't gonna get into all that. This was an amazing story, amazing video. Yo, if you enjoyed the video, go and click that like button, turn that bell on. I know this shit probably like 30 minutes, 40 minutes long. My bad, but it's cool though. Look, click that sub, turn that bell on, like, leave a comment. I don't care what it is, even if it's some stupid ish. Go and leave one. Talk your ish. All right, I'm gonna get up out of here if I talk your ear off, though. I already did that, though. Enjoy your day, morning, evening, night, whenever you're watching this video. Hey, rest in peace, Timothy. Hey, but I'm out.